Greetings and welcome to Ghost Chat and Other Paranormal Things. I'm one of your hosts, Electric Elisa,
I
and
am
we have
I am Jody. Hello.
I'm Eddie. Hi.
And I'm Robin.
hey. So we decided to do this this particular episode to talk about the strange things that occurred surrounding the recording of our last episode about my two experiences in some places I lived that were haunted. And we had set up a meeting like a couple days before the recording, and or was it one day? I don't know. And people had all kinds of issues being able to even do that. I think, let's see, Jody,
Yes.
you got sick.
I did. I got very sick at work just suddenly, very suddenly, to where I actually got sick to my stomach. It was around in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what did it. I don't know if it was food. I don't know. I felt real lightheaded and like a vertigo type of thing. And then that was it. And I just got sick at work.
Okay. And what else? Anybody else?
Beforehand?
Yeah.
Robin.
That podcast was kind of weird because it would not let me in. I tried like 3 or 4 times to get in, and every time I'd get in, it kicked me right back out.
Yeah.
But
And I know your phone and your laptop died.
Yep. Right around that time, both of them just went down.
Yeah.
Wow.
And my phone never came back. I had to go buy a new one.
Weird.
And then Hetty, anything?
I didn't have too much in the way of beforehand stuff. Everything went pretty well for me. I didn't have too many problems beforehand that I can recall. Honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know I had some ringing in the ears. But it's easy to each individually look at these and say, oh, there's a logical explanation for all of them.
Yeah.
What was bizarre is that they all kind of happened around the same time.
Yeah, that is very weird.
Yeah.
Now, since that time, has anybody experienced anything?
Yeah.
Yeah, a few things.
Yeah. Okay. You want to start, Jody?
Sure. I broke my nose.
Yeah.
That was something that's never happened in my entire life. But yeah, I had a little incident where now the whole world's gonna know, but I put it on Facebook, so whatever. But I fell out of bed and hit my nose up against the dresser and heard a crunch, and found out from the urgent care center that there was a hairline fracture, and that the crunch I heard was cartilage, and it was a little bit bloody, but that was weird.
Yeah.
Very weird.
There were
anything after that?
For me, I had a few phone malfunctions that happened where I was using my phone and, I'd actually put it down and closed everything out, made sure, I was getting ready to go to bed, and it would just come on inadvertently on its own. It happened several different times where I'm like, I know I shut this thing down. I know, there was no reason for it to be active at all. There was nothing anywhere that was making it active, so I couldn't figure out what was going on. It happened to me 2 or 3 different times, and that was really weird. That was one of my issues. I was irritable. There was definitely a lot of irritability there, and I had a horrible anxiety attack that I usually don't get. And that doesn't happen to me very often, so that was a full-blown anxiety attack, couldn't get out of my car kind of thing. That doesn't happen very often. So I knew that there was an issue and it was bad. I don't usually get that sensitive. So usually I'm kind of grounded and I make sure to ground myself. But that was weird. But yeah, I mean, it was kind of a weird sensitivity thing, sensitivity training day,
Hmm.
I guess.
Okay. Robin, anything?
I don't even know if this counts, but that same week, the car went down. The transmission
Mhm.
just went out,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
roommate was headed to the store to get gas. Now, see, this is the weird part. When your transmission goes out, there's normally signs. I've had a car
Yes,
that happened. There's,
I've
it'll
had
start
two.
slipping, it'll start
Hmm.
lurching, it'll give
Yeah.
you some kind of, indication there's something wrong. That's not
Yeah.
what happened. He left here. He was driving up to Domino's 2 blocks away, and there's a hill you have to go up to get into Domino's. He went up the hill, and the car just quit, and it started
Oh
rolling
God.
backward.
Yeah, no.
He
That
finally
doesn't
got it
happen like
started
that.
again. No, when he got it started again and started to try to drive, it wouldn't go forward, it wouldn't go backwards, it wouldn't do anything.
Oh
So,
man.
That's weird.
yeah, we had to put it in shop. It was an expensive fix, but it's fixed now. But yeah, there was no indication, and even the mechanic said that was odd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there usually is. I've had two cars where that happened,
Hmm.
and it's you know.
Yeah. There's warnings.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was bizarre, but
Yeah. Um. Okay.
Talk about
I
talk about Brian.
Yeah. So, and this may or may not be related, but his nightmares are back. He's not sleeping well again.
Mhm. Mhm.
Brian is her husband.
Yeah, Brian's her husband and he's having problems
And
sleeping.
yeah.
We also noticed that let's just do the inadvertent photos and then crash computer system on those photos. Remember those photos that had
Yeah. So
let's talk
in
about
the
those.
past, yeah, in the past, and I think I mentioned this in that particular episode too. That strange things when people would try to look at pictures or look at or review evidence, things would happen. Like it would like someone's computer crashed when trying to kind of review the pictures, and then that ghost hunting group like was sure they had stuff, and then suddenly they didn't and just kind of disbanded the group. So
Just some weird things
little
start
odd.
happening, it seems like whenever this Florida EVP stuff this stuff starts happening,
Hmm.
you know.
Right. And I know that um you and I had heard some EVPs,
Mhm. Yeah.
and so that so now I'm in the middle of combing through, and whoever else wants to comb through and see if they can hear anything can always let us know.
Please chime
You can
in
even
and let us know if you guys can
yeah.
keep track of the timestamp. That would be really great, and let us know in the
Hmm.
Yeah.
comments. That would be fabulous, so that we can go back and listen through and figure it out. And we'll definitely have
Mhm.
somebody who's more technologically savvy than we are actually do a little bit more research on it. I'd really like to know whether or not we have some real EVPs here that we just don't know
Mhm.
about, and maybe we can do a little bit more research than what we know.
Yeah,
Because
that's
Right.
awesome.
I'm really curious now. I think we might have some stuff here because we know we've all agreed that we have one, but there's two or three that we've all heard, but we can't verify that it's actual real evidence. So
Mhm.
we would love for you guys to just chime in the comments if you hear anything odd that you think is possibly an EVP. Let us know.
And we do plan to upload them to the YouTube. We can probably upload it, I'm thinking, to um, all of the places that this podcast is heard. But I haven't got that far yet because I've only gotten through like half right now myself. And it really takes headphones
Yeah.
to be able to shut everything out to be able to really listen.
So we would love the help out. If you guys can help us out, that would be
Mhm.
great. Our fans can sit down, and if you get a moment and have a little bit of gumption, you can just sit down and have a listen. And if you hear something that's really odd and have a notice, write it down and type it in the comments for us, please. We'd love that.
Yeah.
And before anybody chimes in, that's listening to this and says, "Well, was all your microphones on?" We've addressed that, and we know that
Mm-hmm.
there's background noise because there's 4 of us. So we've discussed as we move forward shutting down the microphones and things like that, so we're not picking up so much background noise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what she means is like we haven't quite figured it out yet, but we're figuring out whether we should just mute ourselves when we're not talking, which I have done in the past. I'm trying to see where that is right now.
Yeah.
But I think there is a place to do it. I don't know if on your end you guys have that option.
Yeah, I've got it here.
I do.
Okay. Okay.
See, I just said something, you didn't even hear it. I said ooga
I'm in the
booga.
quietest room of my house. I doubt that there's going to be any noise from my room.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if there's any noise in my room, it's going to be a ghost, or it's going to be me. So I'm pretty sure that's not going to
I'm
be a
in a quiet
problem.
room too, but sometimes
Yeah.
this refrigerator goes off and sounds like a dog barking. I swear to God. Sometimes there's a door in the garage. The air comes through the garage and it starts making the door go
Yeah.
thunk 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 thunk, and you might pick that up. So we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. I know here right this moment it's quiet, but I mean, I think if the air comes on, I think we may not notice it. We're so used to hearing those noises that we don't pay attention, but it does create other extra noises sometimes. I mean, obviously for dog barks, it's kind of obvious what that is.
Yeah.
Or for cat meows. But
But what we're wanting our listeners to go through, you're talking about
Mhm.
with the fine tooth comb, is the last podcast we had with the Kansas and Florida experiences.
Hauntings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want them getting confused and well, they can go through this one too. There could be EVPs because we're discussing it again. You never
Right?
know.
It's gonna become the cursed episode, right?
Right, right. The cursed episode. That's
I'm
exactly
already
right.
thinking what's going to happen this week. Let's not go
Exactly.
Oh gosh, no more.
I know.
there. Let's not speak that into existence.
Let's
Yeah.
not.
Right. That's not. Watch your think talk.
I was just going to say that.
Mhm.
If there's anything we learned from the last 2 episodes ago,
Right.
Yeah.
it's kind of like the same thing. Parents always say. Well, my mom would say, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, my mom too.
Yeah.
Are we going to let them know like what specific marks
Well, we can.
so they can listen for that?
Yeah, I can say what I know so far. I don't know if Hetty wrote any timestamps down or not.
I did. Do you want me to read those?
Sure.
Okay. On 233 of the first section, which is the Kansas section of
Mm-hmm.
the Tale of Two, what is it called? Tale of Two
Hauntings.
The Tale of Two Hauntings. The Kansas section at 233, there's an inhale. At 244, we're not sure what that is, but we're kind of curious what that is, but there is some kind of noise there. 251, there's a throat clear, and none of us have verified who that is. 355, there's some kind of technical noise. We can't figure out what that is, but there's a technical noise.
Yeah.
And then 425 is our EVP that we've all verified that is a yes in the Kansas portion.
And that's when you asked, and right before I answered, when you asked, did she look different?
Yeah, it
And
answered for you.
Yes.
Yes.
And a creepy noise. And that was pretty
Yeah.
creepy. That was
Yes.
that's our big time scary wah EVP.
Yeah.
So
and there is also something at 5623,
56.
but I don't know what that is. Yeah.
Okay. And that was that on the Kansas side?
No.
Oh, okay. That's over in the Florida side then.
Yeah.
Okay. On the Florida side, 5623, we don't know what it is, but there's some kind of EVP there on the Florida side in 5623 that you might want to check out.
Yeah.
But we do know, but here's the ones that are weird in Florida that both Elisa and I have heard, but we weren't sure about. There's one EVP where there was a naughty word stated. I don't know whether I can say this on here or not, so I'm not going to.
Just say the B word.
It's the B word, the naughty B word, and was said in an EVP, according to Elisa, and that's towards the front of the Florida section. And the last 10 minutes of the Florida section, I heard the word legion, which is a demonic force, and it's been written in the Bible. I heard the word legion in the last 10 minutes of that particular section of Florida, and that kind of creeped me out big time. And but I don't know whether, and neither one of us can verify that those EVPs exist actually in that Florida section, because neither one of us have heard it again. But we heard it.
Right.
So we would love.
I heard the I will say I heard the B word. I was listening to it as I was driving home from work one day, and it took me by surprise.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Exactly. Well, that was the kind of how it came about with Legion. I went, whoa, I heard that, and I went, oh my gosh, I heard that really loud and clear. And I went, that's just not, what? That's what I did. And I went, oh no, that's not right. And so so if you guys hear anything really distinct like that, just definitely write it down and let us know. So we're not.
What about what about the giggling? Was that further down?
The giggling is
intermittent.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was intermittent. There's a lot of it.
Yeah.
I just figured, and I should ask her if Debbie was just giggling a lot.
Sound like children's giggling, and it was near the end, I think, of Kansas. I thought it was near the end of Kansas. I'll listen to it again. I'll find a timestamp.
Yeah.
I'll find a timestamp.
Yeah, that would be weird. I'm messaging her now, so.
Okay. So any other strange occurrences, gals?
I think we have gone through our list that I can come up with, so I think we are good on the list of things that I listed. List of the things that I listed. So yeah.
Any other observations from you, Robin?
No. This is the one that I couldn't get into, but I was connected to it. I've been in contact with you guys over it.
Yeah.
It did let me in briefly, and then it would kick me right back out. I think I
Right.
successfully came in 2 times. I tried a third, and I could see it, but you guys weren't aware I was there, and then boop, it kicked me right back out. Tried a fourth
Yeah,
time,
that's
and
really weird.
yeah, and I was talking, and like, okay, nothing. And then the fourth
Yeah.
time, I just finally gave up. But I find it interesting. It's the subject matter, okay? We
Mm-hmm.
haven't had any problems with any of the previous podcasts, whether we were all four present or not. This is the only
Mm-hmm.
one. And we all four of us had strange things happen. And I find that beyond coincidental a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Definitely. It was all at once. It's very
Hmm.
strange.
But definitely varying degrees too. So
Yeah.
I'm wondering, like,
I think we made something mad. I don't know.
to talk about it.
Yeah.
Well, if people listen to that one, people listen to that kind of stuff and they're like, ooh, I heard this, or it reminds me of that. So if
Mm-hmm.
anybody wants to chime in on something that they're like, we haven't thought about,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
somebody that's had a similar experience with either a podcast or a broadcast or anything that is
Mm-hmm.
related to what we're doing, social media or otherwise, it'd be interesting to hear about that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And I think also, well, now my mind went blank. I was about to say something.
I hate when that happens.
Um, yeah. Oh, um, should we have them email it?
Yeah,
Yeah. Are there comments available on our podcast?
There are, but I'm wondering if, some people might actually capture it or
Yeah.
have like the actual
Well, that's true.
Oh, that would be
sound.
lovely if they could. That would be great too.
yeah.
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 I would love that.
If you listeners happen to capture something, that would be fantastic. And we are at the spooky sisters 666 at gmail.com. And
Yeah, that's
we
the
will,
spooky sisters 666 at gmail.com.
that's right.
We love you guys.
And
Definitely, and we
and
want to hear
here's
from
the
you.
other yeah. And the other thing is, I will tell you that I am not the best at picking up EVPs. So, I mean, other people have a better ear for it.
Yeah, some people do. Some people are extremely good at it. They can hear the least little things.
Mm-hmm. So I guess for me to hear anything is kind of unusual.
Yeah, if you can hear it, but it must be there.
It would be
Because I
interesting.
know on this. Go ahead.
I was just going to say it would be interesting as people listen to that. If they're listening to
Uh-huh.
the EVPs and they're getting into it, if they have any kind of experience as a result, like we did, that would be interesting to hear about too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good
Because we
idea.
all had stuff happen.
Yep. It could be a
Not that
curse.
we want that to happen.
No.
No,
We
No,
hope
not
but
at
it
nothing
would
all.
be
happens to you.
interesting. Well, we didn't want that either, but it would be interesting if
No.
someone comes back and says, "Hey, you know what? You know what I mean?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Well, see, here's my thought, and was my thought, although now I'm not sure, because my thought was, okay, so that neighborhood in Florida had, it wasn't just the house we lived in, it was like the neighborhood.
Mm.
Not necessarily, I don't know about every person in it, but there were several people um that told me that they had seen things in their houses. There was like, or their parents had seen things, because kids would tell me, oh yeah, there was they saw a man, or standing at the foot of the bed, or because that's what some people said. And of course Debbie has had experiences at her house, and so I think there's something to that neighborhood, not necessarily the houses.
Yeah. Could be the land, maybe.
Right. And so our connection to be to something, because there's really nobody broadcasting from Kansas, but we did have Debbie, who was really from that neighborhood, and she was online with us. So my thought was, you know where I'm going with this, right?
No, I'm not sure.
So if you know how like the spirits, entities, whatever you believe, likes to mess with technology.
Right.
So it is entirely possible that, you know, because Debbie was in her home
Mm-hmm.
in the neighborhood.
Right.
Now, we don't have her on here today, so you know, it would be interesting to see. But you know, the um but then that was my thinking when I had said something and I had heard something in the Florida half and Hetty had heard something in the Florida half. But then later I said, well, maybe we should listen to all of it.
Hmm.
And I did hear stuff in the Kansas half. So not sure.
Yeah.
Unless, you know, whatever things are in Florida just decided to go throughout the podcast.
Yeah, it could be. Or followed somehow.
It could be.
Interesting.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there's such a thing as calling something into, your space,
Right.
I mean, it is an entity, So, and if she's around it or whatever, it can happen.
Mm-hmm.
And since you said that, didn't you say that her husband experienced something similar? Was it her husband and Brian had a
Mm-mm.
similar experience or
No,
something?
that was a different neighbor.
Oh, that was a different neighbor. Okay. Never mind. Then that didn't.
Yeah.
That was weird too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird. I mean, that didn't even seem like the same kind of thing.
Yeah. I didn't think
You
that
know,
was
it
possible,
seemed
but it was obviously.
right.
Yeah.
So maybe,
That
I mean, it
yeah,
could be like kind of like a poltergeist thing, which sounds ridiculous, but when I
No.
put it in verbal, form, like an Indian burial ground or you know what I mean, or a sacred
right.
ground or some
Mm-hmm.
kind of sacred ground where there is some kind of
Yeah.
situation where, it was built in a bad area that shouldn't have been messed with,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Very possibly.
I mean,
And that house is actually up for sale already again.
oh,
Really? Nobody sticks around very long.
Well, but there is a logical explanation because they outgrew it.
Oh.
It seems. I mean, the people I asked about that,
it's not a very big house.
they were like, I think they. No, it's not. So I mean, it's only got 3 bedrooms, and they had another kid. So then that they outgrew it. So they had max. They were maxed out.
Okay.
Well, and there's
So
always the possibility when stuff like that happens, 90% of the time people don't talk about it. They don't want to talk
right.
about it because they know what we
Mm-hmm.
know. I'm not going to talk about this. I just want to leave this behind and move on.
And if they
Mm-hmm.
want to sell it, they're not going to talk about it for sure.
No,
Oh
Right.
yeah, of course not. Not a good selling point.
No,
no.
not at
No.
all.
But it's also like we talked about before. It's entirely possible that they had nothing happen.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's possible.
I mean, the Kansas house has it's been bought and sold numerous times since my mom sold it.
Okay.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Supposedly because the people that the first people, somebody had an affair and they got divorced, and then the next people, same thing happened.
Well, that's weird.
Wow.
It's like,
The affair ghost.
or the divorces,
Yeah,
um
like a
That's all
bad luck
negative.
happened. It is negative.
yeah, right, it is. And some people are not susceptible to that and some people are. I think if you're one of those people that is really empathic, you will pick up on that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also, yeah, so interesting side notes, but not anything I think we can necessarily say are part of it.
Okay.
But please, listeners, take a listen. Those of you that can pick up on EVPs, we greatly appreciate your help. More than you know.
Right.
You can comment to us. You can email us. Email us a clip of what you hear.
Don't forget
Yeah.
to subscribe and like. Lovely people.
That's right.
Yes. Yes.
Please, please.
So we are indeed the Spooky Sisters now.
Yes, we are. We've lived up to our name.
Official.
Right?
So official.
Square.
So yeah, we hope to hear any of your input. Someone who may be better at like picking out EVPs. It's not exactly an easy thing.
No, you really have to listen with a good ear and every little second of the podcast. So I can kind of see what they have to go through when they're listening through in their hauntings.
Right.
It's hard work.
Yeah.
It's really hard work.
Yeah, it is.
It is. And very time consuming.
Oh, for sure.
Well, tell them
It
thank
would be
you.
really cool.
What?
Well, we should
I was
say
just
thank you and
thinking.
get off of this thing.
What? No, I want to hear what Robin has to
sorry.
say.
Sorry, I didn't realize Robin was saying something.
I
Sorry.
think it would be cool if we picked up a listener that actually had the equipment to actually maybe hook into this and say, okay, my equipment went off at those time frames you gave me. May not be possible, but it'd be very cool if somebody out there did have that kind of equipment. Because a lot of people do this for a hobby.
Right. They do.
And they may have the equipment that we don't have.
Right. That's all. Sorry, Hetty.
Good point.
It's okay. No. I just thought that we were done. Sorry.
Good point, though.
Yeah. Alrighty. And then our next show is coming up when? Who has the dates?
I do. One momento. Okay, we've got May the 11th. Karen, the comedian / paranormal, who goes by Paranormal Karen. You can look it up. We are doing a show with Karen.
Yes. Okay. And we have a bunch more planned out, so
we will
stay tuned.
We will certainly keep you posted.
Well,
yeah.
I just want to say the next one after Karen's going to be equally as good because that's when we're going to do Chip. And both of those are going to be worth tuning in for. I just want to say that.
We'll give you more information about that as the dates get closer, but they'll be very interesting episodes. I can't wait for those.
Me too.
Yes. All right. So, spooks out. We'll catch you later.
All right. Thanks,
Bye,
listeners. Like and subscribe.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.